Welcome to this online lecture series, BA Part 3rd, English Literature, MGSU. We have already completed the half portion of this poem, and now the second part we are going to resume. So let's start. The poem is Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt, and in the first portion there was a description of tree and its liveliness as Toru Dutt has described it. So now there is something different. Let's see what it is. But not because of its magnificence. There is the casuarina tree to my soul. So here Toru Dutt is explicitly clearing that it's not appearance of the tree, it's not its stateliness. That casuarina tree is so dear to my heart. There is something else. Beneath it, we have played, though years may roll. So she's saying that there are so many years past, but still those memories, which memories? See, beneath it, under the shade of the tree, Toru Dutt is telling that beneath it we have played. Who are we? She had two siblings, Sabju and Daru, and she is now recalling her childhood memories that they used to play under the shade of the tree, and she is recalling those memories. And as I told you that when she composed this poem, they were no more. So she is in pain and she is missing them, and the tree is a reminder of those memories, those loving memories which she spent with her dear siblings. Beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, for your sakes shall the tree be ever dear. So here she has cleared very explicitly that she is addressing them, O sweet companions, whom I loved and they too loved me with same intensity, and for your sake shall the tree be ever dear. So it's clear now, I think, that why she is so fond of casuarina tree. Blent with your images, it shall arise in memory. So she is telling that whenever she recalls those memories, so those images when she used to play with her loved ones, Abju and Daru, those images comes alive in her mental sphere, till the hot tears blind mine eyes. And whenever I recall those memories, my eyes become well up with the tears. I feel I miss those moments, as those loved ones are also not with her now. So she feels so much pain and so much um, uh, she is in so reflective mood and pensive mood that her eyes become full of tears. What is that dirge like murmur that I hear? So at this point, Toru Dutt hears when she is composing, because she is giving this impression here that she hears a sound. What is that sound? See here, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. As the waves of the sea come to the seashore, the seashore beach is full of pebbles. That's why it is called here shingle beach. It is full of pebbles and cobbles. And when waves touch to those pebbles in its velocity, then it creates a sound. And that sound appears like a dirge like murmur to Toru Dutt, because the sound is not so lively, and that seems to her as a mournful song. Dirge means होता है mournful sad song. So जो वो waves की जो आवाज़ है, waves की जो murmur है, that seems to Toru Dutt like a dirge. So she at this point she hears this sound and she gives it a tag of dirge like murmur, and actually the sound was created by waves touching the seashore full of cobbles or pebbles. Now she is uh, uh, she is now connecting this sound with tree's lament. So I want to clear it to you that she is not at her native homeland where the tree is situated. She is somewhere in abroad, and now she is saying that this sound is this music, this sound, this dirge like murmur is has come across the borders what is this? This is a tree's lament. It is the tree's lament. Tree ka lament hai. Tree is also missing the children who used to play under its shade. So it is a tree's lament which has crossed all the territorial boundaries. An airy speech. It is a strange sound, strange speech which I can listen and I can connect very well. She is saying that it is a tree's lament which has come across the borders up to me, that happily to the unknown land may reach. And this lament by the casuarina tree has so much power uh, in its emotion, that it can reach up to the unknown land, unexplored land, and those unknown land where her siblings have gone, and nobody can reach there, they are deceased. But who can reach there? See the next line, it is very philosophical. Unknown yet well known to the eye of faith. So she has very much she has cleared here that though the places are unknown and nobody can explore them, but yet what can reach there? The eye of faith. That the faith, that my faith in affection, in love, and trees lament can reach up to me, and this pain of heart can reach up to the unknown lands where nobody can reach, yet well known. And those unknown land are well known to the eye of the faith. So it is a profoundly philosophical tone, and it tells us her profound knowledge of Sanskrit epics and scriptures, which this philosophical tone she has derived from there. Ah, I have heard that wail far, far away, in distant lands by many a sheltered bay. So she is saying that I can hear because of my love and affection for my siblings, and the tree associated tree is the center locus of our activities. And my siblings have gone away and I'm here on earth, and the tree too, but tree is not nearby me, but I can relate to tree because of this power of love, faith. And I can hear the wail means vilap, cry, wail, far, far away, which is very far away, but I can listen by many a sheltered bay. So the that many a sheltered bay by the that shadowy tree. When slumbered in his cave, the water wraith and the waves gently kissed the classic shore of France or Italy beneath the moon, when earth lay tranced in a dreamless swoon. So it is a time, it is a night time when everything is at its rest, very calm, and so everything is at poise. So see the hints which Toru that has given, that earth lay tranced in dreamless swoon. Earth is not in its full activity as in its daytime, and when water is not that angry, its movement is very gentle, gentle waves are coming and going to the classic shore of France or Italy. So here Toru that is giving a hint that she is somewhere nearby France or Italy. So at this calm and very noiseless and very pensive mood, and every time the music rose at such juncture, whenever she becomes reflective, so there is a music which rises in her heart and mind, and it there is an inner vision when in her visions uh, she reflects her loving memories, when she becomes her thoughts become sublime, or she becomes philosophical. So at first, what comes in her mental image? Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loved native clime. So, whenever she is in that sublime mood, in that visionary form, when everything is at calm and rest, and she is with her thoughts, she is in thoughtful mood, she the image of tree becomes very concrete in her mind, in her happy prime, when her she used to cherish her good time with her loving ones. I saw thee. These means you. Thee is an archaic word which we'll discuss in later. in the next video. I saw thee means you. I old English का word है. I see you. You, casuarina tree, in my own love native time. And where is she? Because it is in her native homeland, and there she sees the image of tree whenever she is in reflective mood. So now, therefore, I fain would consecrate a lay in such a mood. She wants to pay homage. She wants to dedicate a lay means narrative poem. I want to dedicate. I want to pay homage to you. To whom? To casuarina tree. Uh, in such a mood, I want to pay homage to you unto thy honor, in your honor. Thy means your tree, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep, because she knows it very well that it is the same tree which was so dear to those who were very dear to my heart, near to my heart, and her siblings. And but my those beloveds are now in blessed sleep. She is not saying that they are dead. She is saying it in some other way, that they are in blessed sleep. For I repose, they are at rest, dearer than life to me. Here we can see her affection for a sister's affection for her siblings. That her siblings were very dear to her, dearer than life to me. And you were the beloved of those dear ones. Alas, were they. So she is lamenting the death when my days are done with deathless trees like those in Borodale. So as she has dedicated this poem to in the honor of casuarina tree, so she wishes that this tree will be numbered as an eternal trees like the trees in Borodale. So here is a reference to Wordsworth. Wordsworth's yew trees, whom he made eternal through his poems, and they were in Borodale. So, with deathless trees, she has kept beside casuarina tree to the deathless trees to make it eternal, because it is the loving token, or we can say symbol of very symbolic of the affection of familial or sibling love, with deathless trees like those in Borodale, under whose awful branches lingered pale, fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton, and time, the shadows, all the mixed feelings they have experienced under these awful branches, because this tree has seen death, hope that was trembling, because helplessly she had watched the death, and she had let her siblings, her dear ones, passed away. She was helpless to save them. So this tree is a witness to all the such emotions. And though weak the verse, she is admitting that maybe my week is not as mature to make as Wordsworth or some other poets, to make you eternal, but my love has enough power to keep you, to save you from the uh, clutches or from the curse of death. You will never die, as you will always be remembered through my poems, as we are discussing it, as we are reading it now. So, and time the shadow, and though weak the verse, I want to complete it, see the lines. And though weak the verse, that would thy beauty fain, oh fain rehearse thy beauty, thy rehearse. You will be repeatedly reminded by the generations. May love defend thee from oblivion's curse. So here her faith in love, her faith in strong love, her affection, her affection for her siblings. She has so much faith that my maybe my poetic skills not be that powerful to save you from the death's curse or forgetfulness curse, but my love has enough power. So she is conveying a message that through the power of love we can uh, or she can, or we can uh, overpower, or we can win against the negative forces of life like death, hopelessness, or pessimism. So she is very optimistic despite she has faced many tragedies in her life. So looking forward to see you in the next lecture. Thank you for your attention.